Coming up, I'm taking you to the SAHARA Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, where you can see the only all-male review themed to a motion picture. This is going to be a fun one. I'm Mike the Vegas Guy. Thank you for joining me once again as I attempt to rate and review every show playing in Las Vegas, and this is my review of Magic Mike Live. Magic Mike Live, the all-male review based on the film franchise starring Channing Tatum. This show is produced by Channing Tatum. Even though they share a title, this is a Vegas all-male review. It has nothing to do with the plot of the film franchises. Incidentally, Magic Mike Live was also once upon a time the name of my magic act. If I hadn't given up on those dreams, maybe Channing Tatum would owe me a check right now. But alas, here I am, doing this instead. All right, joking aside, this show plays Wednesdays through Sundays at the SAHARA Hotel and Casino upstairs here in a custom-built showroom. It's a wonderful space. They have their own bar and lounge. Everything is just perfect. It's top-of-the-line production value all around at this show. It's a little difficult for me to describe this show. I don't want to give away any spoilers. There are a lot of fun surprises. Forget everything you know about the typical male reviews or the adult reviews in Las Vegas. This show opens by basically making fun of all of the tropes and the stereotypes that you expect from like male strip clubs, and they throw them out the window and they create something very unique and original in its place. This show is incredibly meta. It's self-aware. Like I've said in the past about the adult reviews in town, the best ones are the ones that have a sense of humor and a sense of self-awareness. It is obvious that the creators of this show were 100% aware of that when they sat down to make this thing. This show has a sense of humor about itself, tongue-in-cheek the whole way through, while at the same time it's a sexy adult show. I realize I've already called it a male review several times. There are women in the cast. There is an MC character who basically acts as the voice of the women in the audience, and she guides the audience, basically directing this show as if they were handpicking the things that women would like to see most in a show like this. It's a really unique concept. It keeps the audience in mind the entire time, and it's a lot of fun. Okay, let's talk about the seating. As usual, I am showing you the prices inclusive of all taxes and fees. These are the prices you will pay directly from the Magic Mike Live website. They do not use Ticketmaster, so they are able to offer some really great prices. They also utilize dynamic pricing. You will notice that I am showing a range of prices for each price type in the showroom. These were generally from the lowest price I could find posted and the highest price I could find posted, although it's possible that there are higher and or lower prices out there depending on the date. They seem to change their pricing not only based on just the availability and how well sold a performance is, but also by peak and non-peak days of the week. A pro tip would be, if you want to save money, go during the week and not on a weekend for this show. It seems that always the weekday tickets are lower priced than the weekends. Then, of course, if you look at the seating chart, as always, the prices differ depending on where you sit in the showroom. This room does have a balcony. You'll notice that lighter purple perimeter of seats. Those are the upstairs seats. Everything else is on the downstairs level. I'll show you the clip of what the room looks like. I was on the floor when I went to see it. My general recommendation, there really aren't any bad seats for this show. It is pretty much in the round, although there is action in the aisles all throughout this room. So at any given point, there might be something happening a little further away from you, depending on where you sit. But that is par for the course with any show that is in the round. So as a general rule for this show, there really isn't a bad place to sit. Just choose your pricing however you'd like. One interesting thing to note is that the actual seats in the room differ depending on where you sit. The majority of the table and chair setups that you see in the theater are going to be more traditional, like wooden cabaret seats with tables. The cheapest tickets in the rear of the room are bar stools. The seats in the very front row around the stage are big leather couches, and then there are also more traditional, like padded folding theater chairs. There's rows of just seats in the corners. It is not easy to decipher that when you are navigating their website. If this sounds like something that might be an issue for you, I would recommend purchasing your tickets in person at the Sahara at the Magic Mike box office. The staff was really great there. Everyone I encountered, my entire experience was phenomenal. From the box office to the security staff checking you in at the door. There is a bar and lounge that's really nice. And then the ushers, the showroom staff, when you take your seats and getting you situated. Everyone was really helpful, really top of the line service. So if you have an issue with your seats, I would just make sure you go in person, speak to the staff there. They're going to accommodate you the best way they can. And of course, no one knows the room better than those people who work there day in and day out. So take their advice when it comes to the actual seats in the theater, if that is something that concerns you. Now let's talk about the discounts. I'll bring in my discount stoplight here. Now, because this show does not utilize Ticketmaster, they have their own software that they use. You might very well get some of the best prices directly from their website when you buy directly from them. This, of course, is one of the benefits of them not using Ticketmaster. They have a lot more liberty to change their prices however they like, and that often benefits you, the consumer. Of course, this also allows them to utilize third-party brokers in different ways that Ticketmaster may or may not allow another show to do. As always, I will refer you to my ticketing tutorial that I have on my YouTube page, Part 2 specifically, that talks about ticketing discounts. I go over how third-party brokers work. If you are doing your homework, like I always tell you to do, I would definitely recommend that you double-check Groupon before purchasing tickets to this show. You might be very pleasantly surprised what you find there if you are following my tutorial. As always, discounts come and go. They are always subject to change, so I don't want to directly quote those prices here, but definitely check there. If you are trying to find discounts, there is no reason you should ever have to pay more than $100 to see this show. Personally, I wouldn't spend more than $80. I think somewhere between the $65 and $75 range is a very fair price. You should be able to find some good deals in that range. And if you are willing to sit in those cheapest seats in the room, in the back of the room, you should definitely be able to get in for less than $60 if you are doing your homework. Of course, this is only for if you are trying to be frugal. If you want those VIP seats, those couches in the very front row, you're going to have to spend some money. Definitely expect to pay more than $100 for those seats. But even then, you go on a non-peak night, do your homework with the brokers, you should get a fair price for those seats. None of these seats in this theater ever seem to be outrageously overpriced, especially when you compare it to other shows in town. The product you get with this show, not just the show, but the bar and lounge, the experience of being in this space, is all very high quality. You feel like you're a high roller in a really fancy, really fun, upscale environment, especially if you compare this to any of the other adult reviews in town. You really feel like you're getting your money's worth with this experience, no matter what you end up paying. So as for my review, like I just said, everything about this production is really top-notch. High quality from the moment you walk in the door to when you get seated and all the way through the show. The production value, the lights, the costumes, the scenery, the music, everything is top of the line, miles above any of the other adult reviews in this town, especially the all-male reviews. This show really is more in line with a Broadway musical than your typical all-male review. It is theatrical, it's fictional, there's sort of a storyline going on. Again, I really don't want to give away some spoilers because the way that they break the fourth wall and they're always talking to the audience, they do some really interactive things with the audience and stay in line with the storyline. So it's so tough to, I want to give any spoilers, but I try not to do that here. To say the very least, the show is unique. It's very approachable. There really isn't much nudity. What you're looking at right now is about as risque as the costumes or lack thereof get in the show. Of course, this is an adult show. It has an age requirement, 18 and over to get into the room. So take everything I have to say with the caveat that this is an adult show and you have to be in the market for an adult show. But that having been said, it's so approachable and the price is so fair. I have to give this my 5-star must-see rating. My only criticism is that if you were in the market for more of that strip club vibe, you might want to go to a different show. Although there is a scene in this show where the guys come out in boxer briefs and kind of give out lap dances to people, which was a little awkward if you ask me. But the tone of this show is just so lighthearted and self-aware. I honestly can't say that they ever really cross a line into any realm that's too inappropriate for anyone. Even if you aren't necessarily in the market for an all-male review, this show is just so unique. It is silly, it's fun, it's worth a shot. If you have nothing else to see and you find those good prices, like I mentioned earlier, it couldn't hurt to give this show a chance. It's really, really fun. Thank you so much for hitting that like button and the subscribe button. Don't forget, if you really enjoy my content, you can support me on Patreon for $5 a month. It's where I answer questions directly. If you ever want help planning your next Vegas vacation, you can contact me there. Tell me in the comments, have you seen Magic Mike live? What did you think of it? It's a fun show. It really is. Tell me which show you'd like to see me review next on this channel. Until then, I'm Mike the Vegas Guy.